Hi, I'm Maria Theohara Silvello, So's on social media. Welcome back to Sober 50 podcast on So Organised Style. Grab a cuppa and relax with us.
I suppose I have got a vintage look. It's quite scary actually because I'll sit in front of hair and makeup and say it's something like the 40s, doing my 40s hairstyle. And I look in the mirror and I see my mum looking back at me. I do look like my mum when they do that. It's the look they sort of go for.
That's Joanna Chamberlain commenting on the first time she was an extra for a 1940s film. Once you're in full period costume, you really do feel transformed. And in this case, Jo felt that she could see her mother in the mirror looking back at her. If you're on Instagram, you'll know Jo as Vintage, Jo, So, and So, underscores in between all the words. Thanks for coming back to listen to another Sober 50 podcast on So Organised Style. So Over 50 intersects with all communities. We're a community that is so over ageism, and together we positively lead being visible in the sewing world. Many thanks to our Patreon supporters as their monthly contributions keep this podcast going for free. I hope you'll join them in supporting this podcast. Tell me about the film extra side of your life.
I've been a film extra for about 10, 11 years. It sort of fits in with my lifestyle because I gave up my main job about that time because my son wasn't well. And it fitted around that because you can do it as and when. You do all sorts, and you meet all sorts of people. It's a really nice thing to be in if you like socializing like I do. It can be gritty because you can be I have been up at 2 in the morning for a really early call, on location, and you don't finish till 7 o'clock at night, long days, be on your feet all day, or you can do absolutely nothing. You never know what you're going to be doing that day. Sometimes I get to dress up, which, as you probably guessed from my Instagram, I love doing. So I've done Georgian, I've done Victorian, current day, Middle Ages. So yeah, it's varied, and I get to dress up, as I say. So great fun.
When you dress up as an extra, that's clothing, shoes, hair, the whole bit, isn't it?
The whole bit, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why you have such early calls on, period dramas, because you have to be in hair and makeup, costume, and you've got all those corsets and underskirts to get into. It takes quite a while, and then you go in hair and makeup. I mean, I did something which was Georgian, and they literally did my hair up in real Georgian sort of heights, and that took a long time. Oh yeah, I mean, I've done some funny things because that's why I've got long grey hair, because a woman my age in a period drama would have not dyed her hair. If you're going into that sort of work, I recommend not dyeing your hair when you need to, because that's what they like. They like what your hair would be naturally at that age if you didn't have the modern things we have now. Also, eyebrows. I've got no eyebrows. I have to draw them in, and I'd love to have them microbladed. But eyebrows, would you believe they change so often for different ages? I've been in stuff where they don't have any eyebrows. I mean, that was a bit sci-fi. The different eras, like the 20s was different to Victorian. And I mean, Victorian, when you do Victorian, you have hardly any makeup, so that's quite scary as it is. Yeah, it's all good fun.
So, being an extra and being who you are and looking the way that you are, that is your unique selling point.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose I have got a vintage look. It's quite scary actually because I'll sit in front of the hair and makeup and say it's something like the 40s, doing my 40s hairstyle. And I look
Yeah.
in the mirror and I see my mum looking back at me. I do look like my mum when they do that. It's the look they sort of go for.
It reflects as well, you go through all of that costume process. And we can see that on Instagram when you put yourself together and you show the clothes that you make. It's always well put together.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think styling is, you can change an outfit so much with styling. I made just an ordinary current day blouse, but I styled it with a sort of 60s hairbands and stuff. And somebody was saying to me, I think you can style anything to vintage if you get the right accessories. It's just creating the look. And, I haven't got loads, but I do like to collect like real vintage accessories, and my prized sunbeam sunglasses from the 50s, which I adore. But of course, this
Yeah.
time of year in the UK, I mean, I think you've got your summer in Australia, haven't you? Here, it's just getting to autumn now and it's miserable. So
Oh,
sunglasses will probably be going away. But saying that, a couple of days ago, it was lovely and sunny. So you never know, the climate's changing. You can style an outfit. I think styling accessories can make an outfit, and you can make it look so different. You can have one outfit and you can style it completely different, and you've got different outfits. It is a bit I enjoy about, enjoy doing. It's something I missed out when I was younger. It would have loved doing that sort of thing when I was younger. But yeah, it does, when you're in costume with the extra work, so, they style it, you get your bag and all your bits. All good fun, all good fun.
sounds like you dress in vintage styles and period styles as well, because that brings you joy and it reflects who you are.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I didn't really find out who I was star-wise till my 50s, which is really strange, really, because once I found out who I was star-wise, it became a lot easier. And I knew what I was trying to achieve before that. I was a teenager in the 70s and I've seen some beautiful 70s clothes, but I wasn't wearing them. I was the all in black, mopey teenager. But yeah, it wasn't till my 50s I found my style. And yeah, I've lived with that since. I mean, better late than never, as they say.
You can find your style at any age, and it's really great that
Yeah.
we can see that you do that. And one of the other elements of how you dress is the fact that you make your garments. Sorry, I'm always in awe when I see you.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind. It's part of the fun of it is
Yeah.
wearing a garment that you've made, and it feels good. It feels good. Yeah. Especially when you go out somewhere and someone goes, "Oh, wow, I love your dress or your coat." I still love it. It's a 1950s princess coat in vibrant. That's the only trouble. I like wearing vibrant clothes with my hair, especially blue,
Yeah.
and it's in vibrant blue. And you can never wear that for extra work because you are background and you can't stand out. So, a lot of my clothes I can't say, oh no, we love that, but it's too bright. But I've got this princess coat I made, and I absolutely love this coat. And I was going somewhere on the motorway and I stopped at a service station and bless him, an elderly man came up to me and said, "Can I just say, I think your coat is beautiful." And I thought that was so sweet.
Yeah.
It's something that's really nice, but people are a bit wary of doing. And I've started doing that now. If I see somebody wearing something I like, I'll go. Sometimes they're a bit taken aback and think, oh, you know, she's weird. But most of the time they just go, oh, thank you. So I really love that dress, that colour. I think it makes people's day when you do that. It's just lovely.
It's an act of kindness. It's just sharing your
Yes.
positive
Yeah.
view on how that person looks. And you may just impact their day in a really great way.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so because it certainly has made my day when somebody's done it to me. So,
Yeah.
it's nice to give it back sometimes, isn't it? And sometimes you even get somebody say, "Oh, I made this," and then you get into a whole conversation about sewing, which is wonderful.
And it's not people that you've seen on Instagram or that you've met through some
No,
sort of
no,
it's just a random
no.
person who also sews.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yes, there are a few of us about.
There are. I hope you enjoyed hearing Jo's experiences of being an extra. Being older gives you just as much freedom to have style that you love and others enjoy as well. This episode of So Over 50 podcast on So Organised Style was produced by me, Maria Theoharis, with permission of Joanna, sound by bensound.com. Come back next week because part 2 of Joanna's podcast will be on for So Over 50. If you want to provide a guest post for So Over 50, make sure you direct message Sandy and the editorial team on the So Over 50 Instagram account. You can subscribe to So Organised Style podcast, spelled with an S, not a Z, on all good podcast apps. Make sure you go back and listen to our free So Over 50 podcast archive, and if you can, consider supporting the production of this podcast on Patreon. We look forward to joining you in your sewing room next time. Stay safe, everyone.